Dave Palumbo here with an RX Muscle news update. The IFBB NPC Pittsburgh Pro has let out, and we will discuss the whole pro lineup on Heavy Muscle Radio Sunday night. But for now, we want to talk about the guest posers, because that's what we love to see in Pittsburgh. The freaks on stage: Nick Walker, Hunter Labrada, Derek Lunsford. What a great group of competitors. Brandon Curry. I got to say, that's always been the most exciting, I think, time of the year other than the Olympia, because you get a preview of what these guys are kind of looking like in their off season when they're the freakiest. We've seen Sean Roden on the stage look terrible and then go on to win the Olympia. We've seen guys look amazing and then bomb out of the Olympia. So you never really can tell, but it's always funny to speculate. And I think the fans really love this guest posing, and Jim Mannion always gets the best of the best up there. And especially with this, the last couple of years with COVID, we really didn't have those guest posings. This was really a special day, I think, especially for all the fans in attendance. I'm sure it was insane. Looking at the pictures, I got to say, Nick Walker, I'm sure he was one of the fan favorites. The guy's an absolute freak. His legs are enormous. I mean, the guy looks like he gained 15 pounds of muscle. I don't know if he did, but he certainly looks like it. He's packing oodles of muscle on that body. His conditioning is still really good too. He's vascular. He's got abs. I mean, this guy is poised to really do some serious damage at the Olympia. I'm predicting top 3 for him for sure. He might even shock people and win this thing. You never know. This guy is hot. He's a fan favorite. He's young. He's got everything to his advantage going on here. Another young guy who was really exciting to watch today, Hunter Labrada. He also looks like he probably gained about 10 pounds from last year. And he's got such good symmetry and such good lines. You can see just that small waistline, just like his dad had. It doesn't matter how big he gets every place else. That waist always stays tapered and small. And that's going to be his calling card. When he's on that stage, on that Olympia stage, and he's in his best shape of his life, he's going to be dangerous. I mean, he placed 4th last year, if you think about it, and he was not at his best conditioning-wise. What can he do this year? He could be a surprise guy who breaks that top 3 as well. We might see some of the old guard kicked out. Labrada has made improvements. I'm sure the fans love to see him as well. So those 2 young guys were great. But then we got Brandon Curry on that stage, who is obviously a former Mr. Olympia. He was 2nd last year. He won the Arnold Classic, the hottest guy other than Ramy probably on the circuit at this point. Brandon is never going to be a guy that's going to impress at a guest posing in the off season, because he's a shape, symmetry guy like a Roden. But Brandon is in good shape. He's big. You can tell he's been training. He's not, just resting on his laurels. I know he's going to show up with more improvements on that Olympia stage. You can tell, and he's got a lot of time still to make even more improvements. He's working his butt off, and it's showing, And look, Brandon's been around a long time. He's a veteran. He's savvy. He knows how to win shows. He knows how to present his physique to the best of its ability. He knows how to hide his weaknesses, and that's why he's super dangerous on that stage. Derek Lunsford. We call him the 212 Mr. Olympia, but this guy is as big as everyone else on the stage. There's no way in heck that this guy cannot get onto an open stage and win an open show easily. Any probably show that's out there aside from the Olympia at this point. He's just as impressive as the open guys up there. And I got to tell you, he's got tons of size on him. I don't know how this guy I don't know how he makes the 212 class. It's almost unfathomable that he can get his body weight down that low to make 212. It just goes to show you that, some guys their bone structure is not heavy, and they look bigger than they really are. Kevin English was like that. He was, he was the 202 Mr. Olympia back in the day. And no one knew, he was 280 in the offseason. No one knew how he made 202, but he was a wrestler and he knew how to make weight. And I think his bones were hollow. I really do, because he looked enormous in the offseason, and he would always make that weight. So I'm sure Lunsford wants to, defend his title at 212. I would love to see him do an open show during the year anyway, just to see if he can win that and maybe qualify. Maybe after the Olympia, hit an open show and see if he can qualify for the year after that. But that was exciting. But I really think that the story of the day was, where the freak was Ramy? Big Ramy was supposed to be in the house, Mr. Olympia 2 times. supposed to come into Pittsburgh and wow that audience. I know, Jim Mannion wanted to see him there. I know the fans wanted to see them there. What happened to Big Ramy? That is the question. What is going to be the excuse this year? Chris Aceto, I have to give him credit. He predicted on the radio show that Ramy would be a no-show at the Pittsburgh Guest Posing. He said there'll be some kind of excuse that pops up and Ramy will not make it. And you know what, Chris? You were right. Once again, the Swami, the technician, whatever you want to call him, he might have to take a new title now. He's a predictor of future events. He was right. Ramy did not show. I'm sure, I can only imagine what the excuse is going to be this time. Last year they had or 2 years they had the COVID test they were waving in the air. I'm sure he's going to get some kind of hospital clearance or something like that. But, he was slated to go. Everyone in the audience, I talked to people who were there. They were expecting him there. This was not like no one knew that he was not showing. He had not called anyone. He did not even let Dennis James know what was going on. And that's supposed to be his, training guy. So once again, Ramy is it's another enigma year for Ramy. Is he training hard? Is he going to be his best? Is he just kind of hanging out and hiding? Or are things not going as planned and is panic mode kicking in? As Chad and Dennis James would love to hear me say. But the truth is that, he was missed here. It would have been great to have Ramy on stage. I don't know where he was or why he didn't show up. I'm sure we'll find that I'm sure someone will reveal that over the next couple of days. But once again, thank you, Flex Magazine. Thank you, David Bay, for the great pictures we used in this video. And thank you to Jim Mannion and the NPC main office over there for putting on another great show in Pittsburgh. I'm Dave Palumbo with an RX Muscle News Update.